Like Sabrina Carpenter broke Arabian hearts, but Chris Brown is breaking light-skinned jaws. So weren't they dumping their shit in the streets?
Hours, and
Think about me every night, oh, it's just me like it's so. So you can see, baby, I know that's that me espresso. Move it up, down, left, right, oh, suck it up.
that's what she said. And you know what? What
Suck it up.
was that? Okay.
Like Nintendo, so you can see, baby, I know that's that me espresso. Holy shit. Is that me? I guess so. Welcome to the Repeated Cars, Punks Politicized. It's me, Shamla, and
It's me, Ona.
And today we are discussing Sabrina Carpenter and the quote-unquote primitive culture perception. If you don't know, the long-awaited Coachella, which is a grand festival in America that birthed Coachella. Sorry, I had to glaze my queen for a sec. Has started, and Sabrina Carpenter was the main headliner for weekend one. Woo!
Her.
And she made a banger set list, bang after bang
She
after banger.
tore.
She tore, and I'm like, girl, you're going to the top 5.
She tore both the stage and Arabian hearts.
Oh.
Get into it, show me. Get into it.
Yes, so unfortunately, she decided to comment on a fan yodeling, but they were doing a sacred celebration cry.
Known as ululating.
Yes, ululating, but they have another name in Arab that I don't know how to pronounce, and I don't want to butcher it on my podcast. Like, no, we're not going to do that. But it's an Arab and Arab and African kind of celebration type of cry, and then she called it. I'll insert the clip here.
I think I heard someone yodel. Is that what you're doing? I don't like it. That's your culture, is yodeling? Is this Burning Man? What's going on? This is weird.
But it was kind of like, it was very weird, it was standoffish, and I kind of need to delve into it, right? So, now, the thing is, the pop star's response sparking controversy as she proceeded to call it weird and compare it to the Burning Man festival. Now, that is very problematic. Now, if you're on TikTok or chronically online in any sense, you're probably familiar with this festival and its creepy connotations with, you know, the rich cosplaying as poor and them wearing African attire to cosplay as if they actually have some sort of culture, and majority of them are...
Keep going.
Like,
no, but that was crazy.
No, but like, white people do have culture, but why do you have to cosplay as African and Arab people to have culture?
Exactly.
Like, that's my thing. It's kind of like, during colonization, you destroyed every single ounce of culture that you guys
Came across.
like had also in Europe. Like, it doesn't make sense. But it also leaks into culture vulturism. But okay, sure, fine. Right? Now, because the Burning Man is known for its cult-like behavior, this is it's a very grotesque image in comparison. So the comment basically implies that the celebration of Arabs is primitive and claims that she does not like it, in which I'm like, girl, what? But as much as I'd love to sit here and bash my girl Sabrina, in which I'll forever stand, the thing is, for this very regressive response, it opens up a brand new conversation about how majority races perceive minority cultures. And this is often due to how Hollywood portrays minority cultures.
I just have to add, not just Hollywood, but like social media as well.
Yes, and how social media and Hollywood portray minority
i.e.,
cultures.
you know, the perception of Indians online.
Yes. Hollywood has been very disrespectful to the BIPOC community, which stands for
Black, indigenous, and people of color.
Yes, and it's not surprising that Hollywood has a negative connotation or perception of native cultures. Right now, I just want to hand the mic over to you, Bix.
Yeah, so do you remember ever seeing a child and Bibio being a child, and we were watching Apocalypto, and it was this depiction of Native Americans as these like primitive beings that are always at war, that always eat each other. Like, Hollywood throughout history has had this tendency of like dehumanizing minorities by portraying them as grotesque, disgusting, primitive beings. For example, back in the day, we had blackface movies in which black people were portrayed as idiots. We have the Native American movies featuring Native Americans, portraying them as these primitive beings. Movies about Asians, you know, the sexualization of Asian women, labeling them as these traditional airheads. Like Hollywood has had a long history of really dehumanizing minorities, and because white people can never think outside the box, they will perceive minorities by how they are portrayed in those movies. Hence Sabrina Carpenter hearing that ululating sound and then going on to say, oh, is this Burning Man? Because she has never taken a moment to think that maybe the people part of that festival exist outside the way that they're being portrayed.
You know, and another thing I wanted to bring up was the fact that it isn't Hollywood just putting negative connotations on culture, but minority culture specifically, because when we look at European culture, it's glorified and it's associated with class and prestige, e.g. Bridgerton, Red, White and Royal Blue, and all these other movies that are meant to be quote-unquote historical or supposed to take historical pride in Europe. You never really find movies that are popular in mainstream media that showcase Europe's grotesque history of decapitation and all these other torture methods and poverty and disease. But you're always gonna find African slave movies though. That's something and American slave movies.
Again, Vika Nyong'o's never going broke.
Like,
as long as that genre exists, she's never going broke.
Girl!
Keep going.
Yes, and especially in the political climate that we're facing, that comment was extremely problematic, considering everything going on with the Trump administration, America, ICE, and everything going on in African and Arab
and
countries.
her being a white, blonde-haired, blue-eyed woman
on the biggest stage,
one of the biggest stages in the world,
is a bit controversial. Now, the reason into why we said we forever stand Sabrina Carpenter is because men will do 100 times worse. So today, Justin Bieber just performed at Coachella.
And for some context, Justin Bieber, the Zionist who was quoting Free Israel, the guy who was hurling slurs online, saying the N-word multiple times, that's the Justin Bieber that we're talking about. And notice how he's not getting any lashings, but
no lashings whatsoever.
But anyways.
No lashings whatsoever. And he was served one of the worst Coachella performances known to man. Scrolling on YouTube.
Exactly.
Because some came in the mail today. These nuts. Got him! Got him!
In a Coachella, and then people are gonna call it raw and art. So that's why I'm kind of like, literally a couple of weeks ago, there was an attempt to, smear Chappell Roan because she didn't want a child near her. And we found out that, like, one, the interaction did not happen. And two, she didn't even know about it. She's shocked to find about it on the internet. And three, her own security guard came out and said, I don't work for Chappell.
Exactly.
So, and the security guard was found to have, like, allegations.
No, it wasn't the security guard. So essentially, the man, Jorginho, who had the audacity to come after Chappell, he has an affiliation with racists. He has openly praised Thomas Party. He has never denounced Trump supporters. He has never done any progressive means whatsoever with regards to his own field. Yet he has the audacity to come after Chappell Roan for something that did not happen. But in the sense that
68 plus 1, then we flip.
Okay. Yes, and the idea that culture is primitive, right? Sorry. We have to also understand that the internet's an echo chamber, meaning that, like, we're only gonna see what you want to see. Meaning that, like, the internet, because they feed off your negativity, instead of focusing on the glamorous and amazing performance of Sabrina Carpenter at the Coachella, they're gonna focus on this one isolated moment of misunderstanding. Despite the fact that misunderstanding does have negative connotations, she did go ahead and apologize. Am I satisfied with the apology? No. Is the apology for me to accept? Also no. So that's why I'm kind of like, okay, sure, fine. But the idea that culture is primitive is an economic and political issue rooted in white supremacy and the myth of linear progression. The idea that the entire world is meant to progress simultaneously from savagery to civilization is a lie and a fallacy. The world does not revolve around Europe and its progression. The idea that culture is primitive implies that people are stuck in the past, despite culture being sacred to the people that participate in it.
And notice how being stuck in the past is something like being stuck in the past essentially means that you're not moving by European standards. For example, like, look at the Africans with mud huts, right? Mud huts are extremely important for the environment. They're extremely important for sustainability, but they're not seen as a scientific achievement due to the fact that they're sacred to African culture. Yet, if a European were to do the same thing, it's labeled as, it's environmentally sustainable, it's amazing for the environment, but when African people do it, it's labeled as primitivism. And also, like, being stuck in the past is also demonized when African people do it, because we've seen the old money trend, which pisses me off, by the way, because that's just money made by whips and chains. But anyways, yeah, so old money, we saw the old money trend and people glamorizing Nora Smith and the old lifestyle, and people are able to look at that European form of oldism and they're able to embrace it. But when African people do the same thing with their own cultures, it's like, it's primitive.
Which annoys me, and regressive as well, like, girl, get out. But Hollywood has historically struggled to portray indigenous people as complex modern individuals. Instead, they fall into two harmful tropes. It's either bloodthirsty warrior, whereby all you want to do is fight, and kill, as if they're flipping savages that don't know how to think. But two, they're the noble savage, whereby it seems heroic, but low-key it's giving Tarzan, in which... 6-7. And the erasure of the present. People act as if people that embrace culture are stuck in the past, as if we don't have cultural celebrations in South Africa and other African countries and Arab countries each and every single day for weddings, deaths, initiations, rites of passage, so on and so forth. Just because those things don't exist for white people or European people doesn't exactly mean it doesn't exist for everybody else, right? And the only reason those things don't exist for white people, like the majority of white people around the world, is literally because of colonialism and the destruction of the infrastructure and the culture that used to be. Because white people used to do those type of things.
They fought each other before they fought us.
But it's crazy. Not only that, but indigenous cultures have been called regressive and primitive. Indigenous cultures being called regressive and primitive has been a justification for colonialism. A lot of conversations that I find as coonery, literally coons, like raccoon, like baby, you in my trash, like, because they're gonna try and defend Africa getting colonized and native, like, indigenous countries getting colonized, and they're gonna say, oh my gosh, they were needed to progress, you know? Again, progression doesn't surround Europe. People can progress at their own pace. Africa was already trading with Asia even before the European colonization hit Africa. But okay, sure, fine, cool. Right? There's also tension in what societies value in life, right? For example, by Western metrics, we measure success by GDP, infrastructure, technological output. By indigenous metrics, right? Many indigenous frameworks measure success by intergenerational health, ecological balance, communal stability, things that we're fighting to grasp now. Yet you want to see, but okay. But that's the thing, when one group of people wants to use their yardstick to measure your success, they're gonna have a misdiagnosis and diagnose you as regressive. Guys, you were in the right for your societal needs at that moment. So it doesn't make, but okay, sure, fine. And in the 19th and early 20th century, social Darwinism, right? And if the term Darwinism comes from, who's that, like, Darwinism? Charles Darwinism, which is used to kind of like explain evolution, but now it's with humans, which is very weird to me, but okay. In the 19th and early 20th century, social Darwinism was used to rank human races. This pseudoscience claimed that white Europeans were the pinnacle of evolution and that indigenous cultures were evolutionary holdovers. While modern science...
Weren't they dumping their shit in the streets?
Hours. And
Didn't the Black Death happen because they didn't wash their asses? Emily, the only thing you're ahead at is your inability to use a tissue. Like, yes, Chomi, I never had guns, but I had a shower. You know, the only thing I was shooting was...
I was shooting blanks inside of my wife. I don't know about y'all. But, okay. While modern science has completely debunked these ideas, the linguistic and cultural echoes of that era still linger in how media and textbooks describe non-Western societies. And this is exactly why Sabrina said is very problematic. Because you're basically you're resurfing all of this trauma I just described back onto the biggest stage in the world. In this very, very, like, difficult political climate that the world is facing. Economies are crashing, world wars are a threat. Like, we don't need that, but you did for unnecessary reasons. An apology, honestly, for me, did not suffice and did not really show that she cared about everything that I just mentioned. But, I mean, what can we do? Chris Brown is still alive. Chris Brown is still alive. That's why I'm never able to hate on these girlies. Chris Brown is still alive. Like, oh my gosh, and he's not getting lashings. Like
Sabrina Carpenter broke Arabian Hearts, but Chris Brown is breaking light-skinned jaws. So we really cannot compare the two. Like, it's really not comparable. Like, yes, Sabrina Carpenter apologized via a tweet, but Chris Brown apologizes via court appearances. So we really cannot, like the
we
two are
can't.
uploaded, bro. Bitches only, like bitches only. No.
Like, girl, like,
Thick bitches only. Like bitches only. Like no, they're not
like,
comparable.
girl, like, they're not comparable. As long as these nasty men exist in the industry, my girl Sabrina, she's taking it.
And listen, you're not going to give the white people their lashings when other people of color don't do the same thing.
Thank you.
Guys, for
Thank
example,
you.
in South Africa,
Thank you.
like for example, like I don't want to throw lashings at my mom, but like my mom used to say that like she would never want to go to like Chinese and Japanese restaurant because she was afraid of being served dog and cat, which is racist, by the way. And the
And
reason
also-
why they develop those stereotypes about Nyama and other people of color is because they see those things portrayed in movies, Hollywood, social media.
And we internalize those things.
We internalize
right?
those
And we
things.
project them onto our fellow communities. We should be standing in solidarity, but no, you're worried about Asians eating cats and dogs. Baby, they're also worried about you robbing them. What about that? What about them apples? But yeah, that is it for our video today. This is not a hate video towards Sabrina Carpenter, and this is not a hate video towards any race or minority. This is just supposed to outline an issue that has been discussed in history multiple times. Like, this is not a cancelable issue. Like, you can't cancel.
Sugar bus waits
It's just the sun.
It's a good thing I like my friends
Cancelled.
That's why I stand by Sabrina.
Yes,
Did you make a joke only a man could?
Exactly, because you made a joke that only a man could and get away with it. But
Exactly.
okay.
Because when that one guy said, I'm going insane, give a nigga a break. Y'all ate it up.
Y'all ate it up. And Vele, give a nigga a break. So shut up.
Exactly. But
Thank
anyways,
you.
goodbye.
Goodbye,
Remember
Mom.
to blame Queen
Naija,
Naija, block Gracie Abrams,
And
Inconvenience Somber.
Mwah.
Yes.
Bye. Mwah.
Goodbye.